Welcome back, or maybe I should say welcome for the first time ever, my friends, to the 25/8 Games YouTube channel. We're at the start of a very awesome journey, and I'm happy to have you guys along. Might not be my first rodeo here on YouTube. Some of you guys may know me as Arnold101. I've been making videos for 10 years on YouTube, completely accidental how my journey started off. Gaming has given me so much, long story short, inadvertently. And, I was like, it's given me so much. I want to give back to the gaming world, and that's through, 25/8 Games. And our first game that we are working on here, Kronoseum. We have a lot to go over today, just kind of, some brief introductions, as well as some updates here. That's what this channel is going to be primarily focused on here as well, keeping you guys updated on the progress on the development of Kronoseum. And I don't know, maybe we'll do some other stuff like, checking out some new VR games, recommending games that I love playing. And on that note, let's go ahead and talk about that real quick in case this is your first point of contact. So I want to first say thank you guys so much if you've already done it already. And if not, well, guess what? Hop on the train, my friends, because we're choo-choo. We're moving along here. In just the first weekend of our announcement, check this out. We've hit over 3,200 followers on the Kickstarter for Kronoseum. Absolutely mind-blowingly insane. I mean, I'm so fortunate you guys are already here. We're just getting the party started. There are so many campaigns. Most campaigns are lucky to get a fraction of that. We got much more immediately. This probably puts this game, especially for the VR world, in like the top percentage for most followed games. And again, we're just getting the party started, and I can't wait to show you the development of Kronoseum over the next couple months. If you haven't already, make sure there's a link down below to a bunch of also links that we're going to discuss here today. But more importantly, if you haven't done so already, it helps out so much, and it's completely free. You just go ahead and hit notify me on launch over on Kickstarter. Also keeps you up to date as we move things along and get closer and closer and closer to our full Kickstarter launch early next year in 2026. Now, I'm going to go over really quickly on the generalities of this game that we're working on here. Just some small details here and there, but I would highly recommend checking out this video right here that goes to my very first public announcement on Kronoseum. A lot of stuff to go in there. I'm going to just say, let's go have you guys check out that video, but I'll just go over some quick generalities here in the first place for Kronoseum, where essentially Kronoseum, I envision going to so many other platforms in the future, but to start, I think the best opportunity, especially for a new studio kind of growing its roots and a platform that's looking for some, revolutionary games, VR, especially because I love VR. It's one of my favorite platforms when I'm not making videos for, YouTube. I'm playing VR games. Kronoseum is going to make its first appearance on VR, and then once we can knock that out of the park, then we'll explore other platforms that we can bring Kronoseum to. A VR hero brawler where easiest way I like to say it in a few seconds, imagine if it was Marvel Rivals or Overwatch brought to the VR world, which really hasn't been done, especially in the way that we're going to be doing it here over at 25/8 Games. There have been games that, tried to touch on these things, but in terms of almost I guess to keep it simple, a one-to-one Overwatch Marvel Rivals experience, especially at the premium level that we're shooting for, not really been done. So it's going to be awesome, especially with the communities we're going to talk about in our first test run of what we're calling the Council of Heroes. It's an awesome opportunity for both amazing gamers like yourself and amazing talent that we have here at 25/8 Games to truly push the boundaries of what VR can offer the world. And let's just go over really quick again. If you haven't seen too much about this game, let's just quickly go over it. And again, there's a link down below to the Kickstarter. Check out the video for the full party on what this game's about. There's me, the founder at top. I'm just a loudmouth, in case you guys haven't realized by now. But our team's expanding, actually. We're going to be adding some a new face here relatively soon. But in the meantime, here's what I could show you. We have some astounding, talented artists on the team. Ricardo, who's been in the video game industry for 25 plus years. Basically there when with the techs are written almost for video games, where he was working at Midway, 2K Games, Activision. So many games from the AAA world to the VR world. And he wants to take his talents to this indie level studio here at 25/8 Games. I am so excited. We actually got some updates from Ricardo that I'm going to probably show later on this week. So stay tuned. Andrew Parker Murphy, again, another Swiss Army knife of an artist. He's going to be pairing up with Ricardo to help out with things like the environment, UI, VFX, things of that nature. Extremely excited to show you guys the power of these two people together. And we got some more people coming for the technical arm of this game here. And then I also want to go over really quickly our advisors. We have David Brevik and Daniel McLaren. Both I am super grateful for, especially legendary names like these, to make the time. Help 25/8 Games get on the best starting foot possible, and making games that are memorable. Like David Brevik, he made this little game called Diablo. Maybe you heard about it. Extremely honored to have him a part of the 25-8 Games as an advisor, helping us guide not just the studio, but also our first game, Kronoseum. And then Daniel McLaren, such for you guys out there that might be familiar with my main channel over here on Auto T101. We play a ton of games like Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. Well, he was like one of the first lead game designers for Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, setting a lot of the core foundational principles that helped that game be around 10 years. It's actually coming around 10 years this year. Holy cow. Well, he's going to be able to lend that knowledge on how to make successful live service games, and especially in the realm of VR, where there's a lot of room for improvement, I think, for just the live service, PvP, things of that nature. Daniel's got so much insight that I can't wait to integrate into this game. And you can just see some of our collective works here. Absolutely astounding talent, and the list is just going to grow in the foreseeable future here. But again, I highly recommend if you want to learn more about this game, again, Marvel Rivals Overwatch, keeping it simple for VR, where essentially timelines are colliding. You have people from the past, present, future, and in between, some mythical-like characters that are going to battle in these awesome worlds, such as Ashen Crossroads, which is a crumbling metropolis, emerging with the ancient ruins of Rome. Ooh, a lot of interesting stuff here. So again, I highly recommend you guys go check this out, or more importantly, check out the video. Ton of fun. I showed a lot of like early access sneak peek stuff with the first factions that we have planned out for this game. We also showed the first characters as well, with Valeria, Hoshiryu, as well as Barricade. You know, these three guys on the poster right there, right? And I really highly recommend. I'm probably going to release the full entire early access footage of Ashen Crossroads. Absolutely excited to bring this world into VR. These type of maps are unforgettable, especially VR where you're literally living and breathing in there. I mean, holy cow, look at that view right there. Or in a second, we're gonna get this is one of my favorite shots. Look at this. You got the Roman Colosseums, and you got the skyscraper that's toppling over, all these fracture energy cracks. Oh my gosh. Excited to bring this into our world of Kronoseum and bring it on VR, which I honestly, you know, I think especially when you're starting an IP like this, what better way to feel the world than actually be in it with the power of VR? So incredibly excited to build this world together with you guys. So check all this out for more information. Again, we're a couple months away from actually fully launching this, but with your guys' help, we'll be able to put more maps, more characters, and again, just even simply clicking notify me on launch helps out a ton, especially when building relationships with publishers, especially in the VR world. It shows that people not only just want to see this game for VR, they want to see the world of Kronoseum go beyond the scope of VR. So incredibly excited to show you updates as we move things along, and I should probably be showing you guys some updates this week. And I guess I should clarify real quick, there are all these social media pages that you can find here to Kickstarter. Of course, we also have some merch. We have, mouse pads, hats, shirts, posters, a lot of cool stuff out there. We have 2 YouTube channels, where this channel that you're on right now, 25-8 Games, it's gonna be more of the casual, it's gonna be more of the dev vlogs, as I said. Maybe we'll play some VR games, show you my favorite ones. Maybe if you guys got something you want me to try out, or maybe there's some new games, maybe we'll integrate some of that in here too. But for the most part, it's about dev vlogs, showing you the process of developing Kronoseum. And speaking of which, Kronoseum will have its own dedicated channel, which you can find our first main theme song that we're in the early concept stages of. Check it out. This is gonna be more like official stuff when we have big things to show. So check it out over there. So I guess it's more official. This is more behind the scenes over here. Great ways of kind of just getting the full experience of just seeing, I guess, more importantly, how a game is made. Because so many people, you just see the end product. You don't see the journey getting to there. And that's another reason why I want to do this. I want to bridge that, I guess, the community as well as these developers. 25-8 Games is literally the perfect conduit to bring both of those together. Now, I got a little bit of update for you guys. Besides the fact that you guys literally are like smashing it over on Kickstarter already with just following. Again, I can't emphasize enough how huge having 3,200 people in just a few days is, not just for Kickstarter as a whole, but especially in the world of VR. Wow, absolutely insane. We still got a couple more months to go, so thank you guys so much for that. But we have some other stuff as well I want to bring up, where one of the first big updates that we're going to discuss here is a feature, or I should say a kind of a community Kickstarter backer that I had planned that's called the Council of Heroes. Now, this is super early, work in progress, trying to kind of figure out how this looks like, where there are going to be some moments where I want to kind of bring the community and be like, hey, what do you guys want to see? Could be from skins, maybe the next character, especially when we get new stretch goals. It's going to be help fleshing out the character pipeline. People could say, hey, maybe we should bring this character. We put it to a vote. And then also maps as well, where just like we have Ashen Crossroads, which is the post-nuclear follow-up of some modern metropolis, and bring it together the ancient Roman ruins, or Sakura Gulch, which is a map that I'm hoping we can bring to life with your help with the Kickstarter, where it's feudal Japan mixed with Wild West, super cool concepts. Maybe bring something like that in too, where players can kind of vote on what's next to bring with whatever we can raise via Kickstarter. So we're kind of doing the early testing so I can figure out, I guess, kind of the process of how to bring the community in and try to, I guess, figure out how we can vote on it and then actually bring it into fruition. So we're kind of putting through a test. And again, the perks of the Council of Heroes, not final yet. It's still a work in progress. I'm also considering maybe splitting things out. So maybe we'll have like everybody can submit their ideas that on Kickstarter, and then maybe certain tiers can vote on the next skin. Certain tiers can vote on the next character. Certain tiers can maybe vote on the next map. Again, just kind of showing you where my mind is at. So whatever you're seeing right now, it's not fun. But right now for this early, I guess, beta test, I'm just calling the entire thing the Council of Heroes. There'll probably be sub-councils moving forward. And we have our first one going on right now, where if you check out the community update post, wherever the heck that is on the tab here, where is that at? Yeah, updates right here. You can see it over here. If you click on this, again, I'll leave a link down below. We have our first beta test to test out this whole Council of Heroes thing. And what we're gonna do, part of the Kickstarter launch next year, we're gonna have Kickstarter exclusive character skins, well, for our first 3 characters here in Kronoseum, which are gonna be Valeria, as well as Barricade and Hoshiryu. So kind of, I guess, more of a celebratory thing. It's the community that's bringing this game to life for the first time, right? Even if you guys aren't even part of Kickstarter, the fact that they even get to make it a game, it required an amazing group of people to watch videos of me, hang out with me, to let me have the opportunity to make a game. So something more celebratory. So we already got a bunch of responses coming in. We still got another quite a bit of hours for people to submit their ideas. So we have a lot of cool ideas, and essentially what I'm going to do, there are too many good ideas, too many cool stuff I'd love to see. Going to kind of see if there's some, high-level things that are kind of, I guess, tying a lot of people, maybe some common themes going on here. I'm already seeing a bunch of common things happening, like, fancy party, like a gala, ribbon-cutting ceremony. A lot of, similar things. We're going to put it to a vote after I can kind of compile things into more of a votable thing. And then we're going to take the top 3 that you guys vote on, and I'm going to send it over to my art partner studio, Kevaru, and they're going to essentially make the early drafts, the early concepts of what the skin looks like. And then you guys will then vote between the 3 sets of skins. Which one do you want to have as the Kickstarter reward? So this is just a small sample, small test for how the community can kind of influence what the world of Kronoseum looks like. So again, early stages of it, I think it's gonna be so cool because not a lot of games do this type of community interaction, and I think this is cool. Not just seeing a game go from close to stage 1. There's a lot of stuff that happened before announcing Kronoseum, but essentially we're pretty early in the dev cycle of making it, seeing how we go from just bringing these characters to life, and then wow, they're actually doing stuff. Now a lot of people get to see that behind the scenes, but also being able to kind of give their feedback in a more intimate way via something like the Council of Heroes. So really excited to kind of fine-tune what this looks like. And then once the Kickstarter goes live, the Council of Heroes and the other related councils, the Council of Skins, the Council of Maps, again, we'll figure out what the names are. Those will be exclusive as a Kickstarter backer reward. What tier it's going to be, still trying to figure all that out right now, because I want to make sure people feel value when they back the Kickstarter. I think this is a tremendous way of doing it. But for right now, for these first tests, as we build up to that next year, completely open to everybody so we can really test and fine-tune what this actually looks like in the end. So tomorrow, I'm going to be releasing a poll. So make sure, again, you go to the links. I'll be posting this poll in a variety of ways. But again, if you want more kind of, more of a semi, weekly type of updates, follow me on Discord, also some of the other social medias. Tomorrow, I will be posting the link to actually vote on whatever we kind of narrow it down to a few things. And then with those winners, after 24 hours, send it over to Kevaru, and they'll start actually developing those concept arts, sort of like this that we have here. So, people, I'm really excited to have you guys here for the journey. The fact that, again, we're already making incredible headway, not just with the talent that we have here, not just already having a community that's supporting us, but the fact that people want to support this already 3,200 people that want to see Kronoseum kill it in the VR world. And then, let's see what we can do afterwards. Bring it to other platforms out there. I thank you guys so much for an explosive start. It's going to be a fun couple months here watching this game kind of go from its first baby steps into, wow, hopefully what I believe to be a way to pioneer, a way to push the boundaries, a way to really immerse people into the full power of what VR has to offer. So everyone, I guess I should say, make sure you subscribe to this beautiful YouTube channel here. Make sure, check out all the social media stuff. Very more importantly, so as I said, just simply following the Kickstarter helps out tremendously. It's a big signal to the world that, hey, there's a lot of attention around this. We should really take this seriously. So thank you guys so much for giving me the opportunity. For those that have been watching me over the past 10 years, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to do this. And for those joining for the first time, thank you as well for hopping on the train and helping make, I guess, every boy's reality growing up, at least for me, being able to make a video game, even just a chance to make one, build a franchise, completely honored and humbled to have you around for the ride and give me this opportunity. So thank you so much for stopping by today. Stay tuned for more updates. Leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And well, always remember, my friends, it's great to be in the Kronoseum today. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.